Well, I didn't think it was possible for a furry this new to hit this point, but I do think we've actually hit the point where I am kind of starting to burn out. Don't get me wrong, there's still so much excitement to do this, but I've put so much stuff on my plate between YouTube and plans for all these events and talking to all these furries out there that I might have overcommitted a little bit, especially since I'm so new to the fandom and honestly still figuring out where I belong. My biggest thing this week is I have actually had to drop one of my commitments. I said I was going to play in like a furry band. Reality is I just don't have time to do that right now with between the first event and I did start back up with my own band that I haven't been to in years. I don't want to make this whole video negative. Like, for example, I still had a great time, and the videos are going to come up fursuiting at the furry event this weekend. We had the furry event. It was a dog walk. Going to make a great video just like the apple picking did. And, of course, I have the furry picnic coming up in less than 2 weeks. And that's with the same group that did the furry apple picking, so I can't wait for that because that's going to be another great event. Now, it was also the furball. The furball video is up now. But if you go and look at it, it is just a very basic video of furries bowling. And that's all the furball video that I shot that same night I shot the event was. In fact, I think it might have honestly come out worse because, ironically enough, there's copyrighted music in it, so I would have to replace all the audio, and it's just kind of a chore. I'm still going to see if I can do anything with it, but honestly, it might just be a video I scrap and instead put all my focus on a video that really matters. Now, speaking of that furball, and I do know Finn the Panther did a video. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to. One of the weirdest things that happened this week was I've realized just how many people take off the fursuit head. Now, granted, these are more at private events, but I've seen it happen a lot where people, I don't know if they just don't care the fact that they're seen. Like, if you go watch my fursuit videos, you'll see that there are definitely some furries who keep the head on and some who take it off regularly. Like, if you look, the video I did where I do the actual event, yeah, it's most of the time, if not all the time, I did actively cut their heads out of the video because most of the time we did have our heads on. I took my head off once. And you can actually tell when that is because I avoid my head. Or I avoid the head of the other person I was with me towing. Because we, most of the time, had our heads off. At the furball, that's kind of hard to do because we didn't, because a lot of people really didn't have their heads on half the time. Now, Kitso, he had his head on most of the time. He and his two friends, like in the dog walk video, you'll see their heads don't come off because they were doing that. And I kind of understand in that case not wanting to take the heads off because they had been out for hours at the dog walk. And even I sort of came to this realization that, am I in a minority here of people who want to keep their head on? Is it something, I understand the whole, maybe, not physically being able to handle it, but I can. Granted, I don't have a full suit yet. Could it be a personal preference? I know that there are videos out there about, like, how we need to keep furry weird and how a lot of people just aren't staying in the suit. So I'm interested to see what a more experienced furry's opinion is. For me, I do think that it was sort of a fear thing of not letting people see me outside of the head, which, if you go watch my week 9 video, I got rid of right there. So when I did get really hot, I did take off the head one time at the furball. Well, like, my whole thing is I want to enjoy this. So after I realized at that second furball the video was not going to be good, I just stopped recording and just started bowling. The other thing, and I think this is the most interesting, is I realized, why am I going to this furball? I'm going to this furball and I'm not really getting a chance to talk to people. I've got such a focus on bowling, and it's $18 to bowl. It's $2 to attend. So honestly, I think of the next fur bowl, I think I just go there to socialize, to focus on talking to everybody there. This fur bowl, wow, there were just a lot of people were just there to talk. And honestly, I'm starting to think that maybe that's what I should do. My whole point to join the fandom was to socialize. So I think next time I go there to the next fur bowl next month, I think I don't bowl. I think I focus on the actual socialization. Because like I had a great time. I wasn't working night shift anymore. I did start the new job. So I was still able to go out to eat with everyone afterwards. And I wasn't super tired. Although I was super tired Sunday because I've been fursuiting so much. Let's see. See, I feel like this is something special I do. So that's why I personally don't like taking off the head. It's not fear, honestly. But let's get off that and talk about how my week has gone. I mentioned the new job. Well, I've been asking Shadow what I should do at the new job. And that has been really helping me. I'm top of my class right now. And literally just today, I'm on lunch as I record this video. I had a meeting with my supervisor today, and she was like, you keep going at this level, you will get a permanent position. Yes. See, that has been a big worry for me. I want to go to Anthrocon this year, but the only way I'm going to do that is if by March, when my contract ends, I get a permanent position and I get vacation time. And I'm going to make it work. I make Fur Pop work, I'll make Anthro New England work. But something like Anthrocon, I'm going to need vacation time for that, so I'm going to need this permanent position. And I feel like I could ask Shadow, like, what would you do here? And it's just, he helps, you know? But I have realized something else, going back to what I was just saying. I've realized that as great as it is when Shadow helps me, I still need to help Shadow. Shadow can't help me if I don't help myself. So this week, I've got no fursuiting event. I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to work on the fursuiting videos. I'm going to work on the one from this week tonight because it's going to be great. I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to re-import all the videos from that Boston Walk event and just totally rework it. Forget the 360 aspect. I'm going to reframe it like I did with the other video and this one. And I'm not going to upload this big 2-hour thing like I would have done. I'm going to cut it down to like 10-20 minutes of the best footage. And I do want to watch that back. I do want to edit it. But despite all of this, I am still seeing the positivity of the fandom more and more. And I am seeing how the positivity is still, even 12 weeks later, having a positive impact. I just mentioned my job. I'm going into the job with more confidence now. And not thinking like, oh, what if I don't get the permanent position? I'm thinking I'm going to get the permanent position. So let's talk about that fursuit video because it is going to take me a few days to edit and get it up. Well, I mentioned it was a dog walk and we were in our fursuits. There were definitely some dogs that were barking at us, but mostly it was positive, shockingly positive interactions. My whole thing is I think I'm going to cut out all the adult face and just focus on the dogs and us. Again, that's the real trick of the 360 camera is I can reframe it to cut people out. So 360, if it's showing everything, it's kind of breaking the immersion, whereas 180, I can reframe it so that it doesn't show anything that breaks the immersion. I mentioned I'm going to do an event this week. It's a game day with my local furs. That's not a fursuit, so it'll be nice to go with furries to do something fun and just not be in the fursuit for once. But I've got that Boston picnic in 2 weeks. That's going to be huge. That's going to be a great video. And, you know, the funny thing is, even at the new job, I really do like sharing this with people. I haven't quite come out and said it yet, but at the new job, we have something called a buddy who I was talking to them about gaming, and they wanted to know like what games I was playing, and then it hit me. I sent them a video to my old channel, but my old channel has a playlist of my favorite videos from my Persona channel, labeled my Persona channel. So she might find out that I'm a furry. Oh boy. Well, we'll have to see how that goes. But everyone here at the new job is bubbly, and I love their personality. I gotta go back in 30 minutes because we get an hour lunch here, not 30 minutes. Although that might only be during training. Okay, so I do think that part of what I've realized this week is that the newness of being a furry is starting to wear off. Yes, there are still plenty of things that I still have not experienced. Such as, well, my first FurCon is in 6 weeks. Obviously, there's still that. I'm still joining groups. I'm still getting out there, learning events. I've done more events than I ever planned to, though. And I do feel like being a furry is actually kind of normalizing. And one way that I'm helping with that is now I'm trying to shift back to focus on myself, as I've been doing the past 2 weeks, to try to regulate my real life and my furry life together, to bring it together so that things don't get too normal, you know? I've talked to my parents about getting me the X5. I do want to do that. That would be probably a Christmas gift. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to use the X3 at Furpocalypse because I'm also going to be a volunteer there. So who knows how much I'll get to tape. Not a volunteer at Anthem, New England. So I'll definitely have the X5 there and shoot much more video there than at Furpocalypse. Also, skiing is coming, you guys. You know, if you go look at my old channel, there's less ski videos. I obviously did not record ski videos last year because I wanted to focus on myself and skiing. And I do feel like skiing could honestly be a decent break for this. It's only for 3 months, and I'm still going to do like the weekly live streams. If there's a furry event, of course I'm still going to that. But it's just going to be a nice way for me to do something else that I love, to kind of break up the whole furry thing. Not stop it, but just give me something else, another interest. Or like even going to my band on Thursday nights. Yeah, that's going to be something nice too. Do something to just kind of take my mind off being a furry, or like I've gone back to watching anime. Don't get me wrong, I still talk to all my furry friends every day on Telegram. I don't want people to think that this is me slowing down being a furry. It's not. I'm just thinking of other ways to work into my life that still allows my IRL life to work too. So that, because my IRL, I'm realizing if my IRL life goes downhill, that's going to affect me as a furry. That's going to give me less chances to get out there. One other thing I will say, going back to the positives, is I'm actually going to talk, I mentioned Kinso. I really like his suit. I didn't like Long Claws as much, but I keep calling him Long Claw. It's Long Tooth. I didn't like his as much, but his was apparently more realistic. And I like Kinso's. They're apparently the same maker, but Kinso's was a more cartoony look, and I really like his. I'm actually going to bring Kinso on one of my TikTok lives soon. I've invited him. He said he would. So one of my live will probably be on a Tuesday. Not this Tuesday. That's too soon. But like next Tuesday. So that's going to be exciting. And he put me in contact with his maker, who honestly, I am looking into makers now who would make the second suit. And I kind of like his, so I'm getting in contact with his maker. His was $29.90 with shipping for a full body suit that I really like. That I could definitely see a suit of Chance getting made. So there are some personal things, I'm not going to drag them here, that I gotta fix here. There's some personal stuff. One of the biggest things being I was supposed to go somewhere, but because of the new job, I'm not going to be able to. I'm dealing with that right now. I feel like this weekend is going to be the break. It's going to be the break I need from being a furry. I've still got that one event, obviously. But it's going to be a nice break too. I'll do the videos this week after work. I'll get those up. And then I'll just take, after so many weeks of being a furry, I'll take my first breather because I don't want to burn out. Especially with my first FurCon coming out. And me enjoying this so much. There was something else, but I'll think about, oh, the Wolf Game video. So I have decided to delay the 2024 versus 2025 comparison because really it was November of last year when my life turned around. And what's at the end of October this year? My first FurCon. So it would honestly make a lot more sense to do the 2024 versus 2025 video in November. And then I've still got to do the Wolf Game video because the Wolf Game video, that whole thing was started in October. So really, it's about that time to make that video. I'm definitely going to do that soon. Also, I'm planning to return to Gear VR. I mentioned singing. I would love to sing, to be honest. And I've noticed a huge confidence boost. Like I said, I'm singing out loud, so probably get back into Gear VR and go to furry karaoke again. I've got 2 more weeks of training, and then I start working from home again, so I won't have to worry about like traffic or anything, or driving home. There's all that. And I just really, my big thing right now is I've realized I need to take care of some stuff in my personal life. I need to keep that on track. Otherwise, I will burn out and not enjoy being a furry as much. And that is something I cannot. I've actually had this, it's funny, I've actually had that happen with skiing before, I did it so much and let go of my personal life, essentially, didn't keep my personal life on track. And because of that, it impacted my enjoyment of skiing. So I've seen it happen before with skiing. I don't want to let that happen with being a furry. I don't want to let my personal life get out of control. And then it affects my life as a furry. So I'm going to be spending this week taking it easy. You will still get your first tune of videos. I am enjoying editing those videos. Yes, sometimes the videos don't come out right, like the furball video. So I just got to learn to let go of those. But when I really enjoy making a video, recording, like I love to record, I know that those videos are going to come out great. So I really want to edit those dog walk videos and get them up. I'm working from home today, so right after work in 3 hours, yeah, I'll definitely be there. I was really tired this past weekend. Last week I had a bit of a cold. I'm out of it now. I had a great live stream last night. I'm energetic today, so I'm definitely going to be turning on that gaming computer and working on those videos today. To probably come up tomorrow or the next day. So I'm sorry for a little bit of negativity, but in the end, this is about how it affects my life. And both as a furry, and I've realized I still got to talk about how it affects me IRL. It's a mixed week, but there's still so much more positivity. And despite challenges, I still think that this was a more positive than negative week, and a week that helped me make even more breakthroughs. I can take a couple hours to focus on myself, so that my furry, it's weird. Even Shadow now has realized that he can't be Shadow if I don't stay on track. So I've been asking him what to do, and sometimes his answer is focus on yourself. Take a break, relax. A lot of people always tell me that I should slow down a little bit because I'm so new and there's still things to learn and I'm just going so fast. And I think it's about time I start listening. Not stop. That is the key thing. That is the one thing I realized. Slow down, not stop. But anyway, all that said, I will see you out there, fellow furries.